Let's talk to...
Go speak to Andre. I'm just annoyed.
A strangely dressed young man says without looking up from his toolbox. If I want to speak to you first.
I suck at socializing, man. If you go speak to Andre, I'll have time to tune in, get a reading on your side.
Before he's finished talking, he's already turned back to his tools. Alright, I'll do that. Sync the signs with Noid. The young man picks up a thin metal saw blade and nods. You see a youngish man bleaching the tips of his hair with a toothbrush. He puts the toothbrush down and extends his hand in greeting.
Hello, I'm Andre. It's a pleasure to meet you.
There is definitely something futuristic about his hair, aggressively so. You get the sense that this is what the future will look like. Imbecilic, yes. Should the future ever come, it will look deeply imbecilic, like this guy. Shake his hand. His grip is strong, sweaty, and warm. He's trying to project and inspire confidence.
This is my posse. Noid.
The young man with earrings looks at you suspiciously.
An egghead. Egg!
The tape player high above his head continues to blast what is probably anodic music.
Together with a Settle Burger, who's out there right now, doing some seriously progressive sonic experimentation, we like to think of ourselves as music venue organisers.
How many music venues have you organized?
We have many in the pipeline, officer.
He means they haven't set up a single one yet. Why are you here?
You see, we've been all over Jamrock North, prospecting for real estate to establish a new venue in.
Also for talent.
Yeah, thank you, Egghead. And while there is no shortage of raw, unfettered talent spinning tapes in Jamrock, we've had rotten luck with the real estate part.
Place is a shithole.
I apologise for my friend Noid's potty mouth. I realise this is not how you speak to a police officer. He has authority issues.
There's no need, the place is pretty bad.
Which brings me to the problem of occupied ecclesiastical property. I bet you've noticed the derelict hive of narcomania on the coast.
Finally, someone who understands the plight of narcomania. Play it cool, you might have an ally here. Narcomania, not thoughtfully. What exactly were you talking about here?
I'm talking about the church, and I'm not exaggerating. Even a place of spiritual refuge can become a magnet for all sorts of dopeheads and burnouts if left unattended.
Dope heads.
Burnouts.
He angrily spits on a screw, then starts cleaning it.
Well, I'm sad to say, that's exactly what happened. Sad because we were just about to put Martinez on the map with one of the maddest dance clubs in Jamrock. Nah, strike that, in Revershoal.
Strike that, the world!
And sadder yet, because the dopeheads and burnouts hold up in there are the worst kind.
He leans back a little, watching you with a steady, serious gaze, letting you imagine just how bad those dopeheads and burnouts really are. Good. This calls for an opinion. You're an expert in those. I won't let's see. I won't stand for narcomaniacs of any kind. No narcomaniacs on my watch. Shake your head gravely. Yes, yes, and the worst part is they're also spooky. What do you mean by spooky? I was hoping you'd be the judge of that, officer. All I can say is their spookiness is the kind that keeps us from restoring this church to a community center and a place of spiritual refuge. Also, they don't heat or clean the building. Shit's gonna collapse. People just gonna spin tapes without them spooking it up. Place has bad signs. No one can dance like that. Thank you, Egghead. He turns to you. So, you're gonna look into it, right? It should be a police matter. Getting them out, whatever spooky stuff they're doing. I'm sure it's not what the Ecclesiastes meant their property for. Well, let's see. I'll look into it. Tell me more. All right, man. He claps his hands enthusiastically. Andre obviously is very happy that you took him seriously. The whole tent is. The boys exchange giddy looks. Did you put the padlock on the... Yep. What exactly are the people inside the church? Truth is, I don't really know. None of us do. I don't even know how many there are. All we've seen are glimpses. You haven't even seen them and you want the police involved? Well, he leans in for emphasis. There's also the machinery. This machinery is of the deeply mystical variety. When I first scouted the place back in February, it was abandoned, empty. Took some time getting the crew together. So about 2 weeks ago, we came here hoping to set this stuff up. Suddenly, there are all these strange machines lying around in there. One of them has wires running into bowls of water. Wires into water. Never seen anything like that. That's torture stuff. Andre, tell him about the feeling. Oh, and it felt like there was something in there with us, watching us from the dark. No, the other one. Which other one? I'm not as in tune with my emotions as you are, Egg. Felt like silence. Awful silence. You haven't physically seen anyone. Not Exactly. We've just seen someone who we think is a woman go in and out of the church a couple of times. We felt someone or something eyeing us inside, but that's kind of it. The woman, red hair maybe? Lori woman? Sure, why not? Yeah! But not really. The other one adds, brown hair, old, heavy, dark signs. So which one is it? What Noid said. Ruby's gone. The woman is someone else. Was that about something watching you? Like, you weren't alone, you know? It wasn't quite human, if you know what I mean. Not human, as in a ghost? Do you even know what he means? It was this dark shape climbing upside down in the ceiling, like some kind of crab man. A crab man? Yeah, you know. The way it was climbing up and around the ceiling, like a crab. The other one agrees. It was stalking a cell, exhibiting ambush behavior. Odd. Crabs are usually marine creatures and not known for climbing walls. Ambush behavior. Nod. Crabman. Crabman! Yeah, totally. I mean, I didn't personally see it. Estelle was alone at the time, but I believe her. If she comes out running and says there's a crab in there, there's a crab in there. So he hasn't even been in there lately. Is he afraid? You should ask her about it, but be nice. Don't tell her you don't believe in the crab. There probably is no crabman. Don't let them draw you in with this nonsense. Can you tell me more about the machinery? You should talk to Noid about that. I just got a distinct burnout and dopehead sign from them. Probably jacked up to some stuff station too. Probably, very likely. With a small surge of PEA, alertness fills you as if to say, this is a dark corner, look behind it. Jacked up to some snuff station. He means like one of those rich boy private radio stations where you can listen to people getting killed on, and jerk off to it. Sick shit. Must be, even Kuno knew that. Not that we would know anything about that. Noid just really likes relay stuff. He appears sincere enough, sire. You could of course be wrong. We're getting derailed here. In short, you can talk to Noid about the machines. He'll tell you more. So, how can you be so sure they're burnouts and dopeheads if you haven't even seen them? Well, honestly I can't, but I am. This is a below-feeble attempt at avoidance. Basically, he's attempting to weaponize idiocy. Wow, you can't, but you do. I should add weaponized idiocy to my own repertoire. Hey now, he furrows his brow. I'm 70% sure they're substance abusers. Don't let all that technology fool you. He makes a little quotation marks with his fingers and then says technology. Where do you think drugs come from? Let's talk about something else. Did you put the padlock on the door? Yes, I asked Noid to install a measure against more drifters wandering in. It's a temporary fix, just something to contain the situation. I had to do it in a hurry. Not my best work, but should hold for a while. But what about a key? Of course. Noid, give the officer the key. Alright, the speed freak dips into his belt pack, produces a yellow key. He then makes a sudden cool infused move, tossing it in your general direction. Be the cool cop. Catch the key as it flies towards you. You sense the trajectory of the little piece of metal and plastic. The object makes a small ringing sound as it approaches. Just the tiniest chime to your left. Catch it. Pitching. The key hits your palm. The speed freaks nod to you approvingly. Bask in the glory. Young man with ribcage-shaped suspenders looks at you standing there with a goofy grin on your face. The word August is used as an adjective. That's how cool it feels to be old and cool in the eyes of the young. Let's face it, you're near death, yet bathed in the golden rays of stately grandeur. Like a late summer's day. Like a daddy-o. Like a tequila sunset. Now, none of this tequila sunset business. It's gotten me to death's door. There has to be more to this world. Are you sure? Probably too late to be tequila sunrise now. How long have those people been locked in there? Not long, like a week maybe. He shrugs. How can you be sure they haven't starved to death? I'm super sure they're alive. I mean, come on, at least 90%, maybe 85% sure they're still alive. Somewhere in the ruinous past that led you here, there was something called exams. You may have learned the term involuntary manslaughter there. 85% is not good enough when you're dealing with another person's physical well-being. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, too! I guess it just wasn't very hardcore of us to just lock them in like that. Me too. Me too. I should have had that kind of power over another person. I'm not the one with the violence monopoly here. You are. Glad the key is out of my hands now. Right, other questions. You mentioned some kind of ecclesiastes on the church. Who are the ecclesiastes? Oh, yeah, that's Meteoran name for the founding party. I thought it'd be cool to use it. If you don't know what the founding party is, there might be a way to mask it with minor demagoguery. Before we go on, what do you mean by Meteoran? You know, of Mateo. Concerning Mateo. Mateo? Mateo, a country? On Mundi. He looks at you, squinting his eyes to see if you're kidding. On the Mundia Sola. One of the poorest in the first world nations today, but one of once a great ancient civilization. Capital. Thylakos by Pisantic. Okay. The problem is I know what the founding party is. It's the founding party by the first innocents. Whatever. Now humor me, Andre. What is the founding party? What do you think of it? I never really looked them up. You know, I can't give you a precise definition, but they're a very powerful religious organization, and they have roots in ancient mass society, he pauses. And they're the custodians of the Perconashian Church. Plus, they anoint the innocents. They, like, made the innocentic system, no? They sound exactly like the kind who'd want loud anodic music in their church. You're right, they do, he says without the slightest hint of irony. The Perconashian Church is about love. Anodic music is about love. I got love for my Perconasian posse. Love is the relay out of death. We dance! He violently shakes the tape player as if to see he can break it. Love is hardcore. Unity. Unity! Make some noise for my Insulidian posse! He turns the volume up, then looks at you with a knowing nod. It's as if it's obvious you will now break into dance. You feel it. The anodes and the cathodes coursing through you. Your big toe starts tapping along to the base, as if testing the waters. You're right. How could the founding party be anything but enthusiastic? Dance music is about love, and so is the Perconasian Church. Proceed. Yeah! Yakakata! The place to be! Seems ecstatic that you share his vision of Perconasianism. Do it for the masses. Do it for the crew. His friend forms a fist with the screwdriver still in his hand, approvingly so. I didn't want to say it, but it was pretty lame of you to imply otherwise. Anyway, you got more questions? The one with the large head is still looking at you, nodding his head, waiting for your body to start moving. You feel like you could go for a little disco when, or if they get this club going. You got it in you. I want to ask about the tent full of equipment. Guess what? What's with all the Nosafed? What now? He leans in to hear you better. Point at the bottles of nasal spray in the corner. The Nosafed Ultra. You have a lot of it lying around. Oh, the old Ultra. He's like an actor looking for the souffleur for his line. I have a major sinus infection. Stuffy nose. We all do. Shit's all blasted up. Winter. Can't even breathe. Sound fine to me. Yes! He nods energetically. That's all the Nosafed's doing. Without the Nosa, I'd be drowning in shit right now. Nosafed is the shit. Good, on to the next thing. So you brought your own water. Yeah. Good to have. Bitch to carry. When I first scouted the place, I did some reconnaissance. I'm not sure if the church even has running water. It's distilled, too. Oh! He doesn't know what to say. It's the only one that they sell at the fuel station. It's like he's lying to you, my liege, but he's slippery enough that there's nothing for you to grab hold of. Alright, enough of this. Unexplained Nosafed. Headphones are sold. Narcomania is a plague. Maybe everything isn't quite as you've been told. Take a moment to analyze. Nope. Okay, the Speedfreaks want to start a club for dance music. How much checks out? Youths like music. You feel as though you might have liked music more when you were young too, but you digress. Then there's the Narcomania. Indeed. So one of them came upon an abandoned church. They turned it into a club for dance music, but agents of Narcomania have overrun it. You shudder to think of all the narco they've suddenly consumed in there. Narco is bad. Plus, and it has to be considered. You can't invent the future of dance music in this smelly old tent. Imagine if you had the church. That settles it. Analysis complete, their story checks out. Still feels as if this didn't quite go as it should have, but... Okay, so let's pop out for a second. Be careful in there. And tell us how it goes, yeah? We'll be here. Wow, someone's been a little boring. What? Yes, my standard liege. Someone's been seen all sorts of wild ideas pop off and thought, I'll take the boring one. The regular, please. The brown. What is this? Picking on me for not being crazy enough? That's the least of my concerns. No need to be defensive. The regularity, the brownness, the cut and dry have their appeal. A very Stadnard appeal. Look, I'm just trying to do my job. No need for extravagance. Of course. Let's get right to it. My lord's copotype is regular cop. I'll let everyone know. I'll send out a telefax. Wait, what? This will be my copotype now? Yes, the type of cop you are, sire. Think of it as a caste, a class even. A nation of regular law officials that you belong to. It comes, of course, with the usual benefits. No. I already have 2 copotypes. I don't need a third. Good, of course. To outright declare yourself something seems a bit too interesting now, doesn't it? I won't trouble you any further. So how many skill points have I picked up? I got 3. What's my logic at? Could be better. We got a couple of things we can do to buff logic. Also, should probably put a hat back on. So, extra pain threshold and volition. Extra encyclopedia, drama, logic, lost suggestion. Rhetoric and empathy, extra shivers, extra logic. Extra drama. Okay, anything else? We had a lot that boosted logic. Not too much. I guess I'm just going to be wearing this hat for a while, aren't I? It's kind of good. The only problem is the perception minus, but I'll make it work. Okay, let's level up logic. Now that I'm properly logically beefed up, I should probably double check real quick, because my logic's at a +3. And yeah, look into maybe some other equipment. Okay.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Maybe something isn't quite as you were told. A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather round, kids? Okay, kids, now gather round. The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. The would-be leader is less than amused. Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now. But before that, I have reason to believe I was a police detective. But you still are. I was good enough to... I was good enough in this job to be awarded the rank of Lieutenant Euphrator. I could have been captain. Imagine that. What happened? Egghead looks seriously. Life tore me a new asshole. That's a real downer, he shakes his large head. Obviously, that may as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in me. The young speed freak is silent. He senses something is wrong. This isn't the makings of a club, it's a tent full of lab equipment for manufacturing drugs. I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers, he points to the speaker. One speaker, they have one speaker. You have no headphones. Wouldn't Estelle need her headphones to spin tape? What do you know about spinning tape? I know you pawned them. Likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients. I'm sorry, but there's no lab equipment and no drug ingredients. Where is this friend? Did he lose his friend? What do you mean, friend? You're the other speaker. You only have one. It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction and notic music. other speaker. Pfft. This may be the brain damage talking, but you've definitely never heard of monodynamic or one-speaker systems. That nosefed is here for its active ingredient. He said it was for his nose. What more do you want? Likely pseudoepinephrine. Or ephedrine. Pseudoephedrine. Almost exactly the shape of ephedrine. Pseudoephedrine. Ephedrine makes you happy, and so does pseudoephedrine. The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab. And of all cellular base life, what's your point, Lawbringer? There's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there? No. Shit, he sounds tired. In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab. That's... He waves his hands. Come on, that's... preposterous. I meant to say not true. So, what are we gonna do with you? What do you mean, do? There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing. Tell me what's really going on, and we'll work from there. I can be lenient. What do you mean by lenient? Calling backup and hauling you all off to the pen, for starters. Okay, man, okay. He raises his hands. Things are just so hard for an entrepreneur in the city right now. It's not like when we lied. It's not like we lied when we said we want to turn the church into the wickedest club in East Revachol. Because we do! We totally do! We just need to turn it into a speed lab before. To get our foot in the door. And why did you need me? Like I told you, spooky assholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, this place was empty, and now it's all spooked up. They're not really spooky, are they? No, man, they're spooky, alright. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there. But the sign was way off, too. I couldn't feel the love at all. Sir, you promised you'd be lenient. This is it, judgment time. Let's do this clean. No speed lab, just a club for anodic music. Yeah! The young man's smile widens to inhuman proportions. His teeth beam in the floodlight. I knew it. The would-be leader drops his spiked head between his knees. It's impossible now. No, Andre, it's harder now. This hard cop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. We all know there was never going to be a club for anodic music with the Speed Lab. Now it has a fighting chance. What's that about a fish? There needs to be a club for anodic music in there. Needs to. Everyone hates each other. Everyone hates it in here. It's all just drugs, and we're slaves, and I can't. We're running out of time. We need a win, Andre. He looks at you. I promise, this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light. Right, let's call this incident crime prevention. But I have my eye on you. Okay, we'll try to do it without the drugs. He raises his head from between his knees. We'll do a straight-up club in there, spinning the maddest reels, but nothing. And nothing but, I swear to God. Okay, Egg? From here on, it'll be straight all the way. Hell yeah. As always, we'll be right here, waiting patiently for the news. Yeah. Oh, right. I was going to talk to the last guy. I am a do-gooder. I solve drug problems before they happen. I don't know. I had a friend in high school. Brilliant guy, super popular, very charming. Maybe not, like, the best academically, but, like, he was one of those popular kids that was, you know, he knew kind of where the limits are, or were for a person to be a good person, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, you know, they're those popular people with a lot of money and whatever, and they're just kind of jerks. This guy was nice. Like, you could tell he was never going to be, like, a close friend, but he was a neat guy, and I respected him for what he was. And then, in the middle of senior year, he just disappeared. Poof. Gone. No idea what happened to him. And no one was talking about it. And it turns out, like, the dude had overdosed really hard on a lot of stuff over, I think it was Christmas break or something like that, and he didn't come back till graduation. They let him graduate alongside all of us, go to prom and everything, but he had to go to summer school. I have no idea what's happened to him since, just because I'm terrible at keeping up with people, but it was just so tragic. Because, like, I get it. Like, there are ways and controlled manners that you can use substances, but I've seen enough people that it's, like, kind of wrecked them. That, you know, the most I have ever done is just drink a little in a very controlled environment. And yeah, I've gotten kind of inebriated from time to time, but for the most part, I, like, don't touch this stuff. I don't necessarily look down on people that do. I can't be around it personally. Too many of my relatives also have had problems, mostly with alcoholism or tobacco, which, like, okay, tobacco just ruins your health, and alcoholism ruins your health and also ruins your life if you're too bad about it. And so, I don't know. Gambling was my family's vice, and so just kind of anything that's super addictive or even relatively addictive, I have to, like, well, there's some irony in this, but I have to, like, kind of be predisposed against, because I know that, like, I would be a risk factor for that sort of thing. And luckily, like, I have no inclination, so it's not like, you know, I can't have, you know, one drink or I'm going to spiral, you know, idiot doom spiral my way into homelessness. The hilarious thing is, I'm addicted to video games. Sort of? Sort of? I don't know, it's really hard to tell. Could I live without video games if it weren't my job? And the answer is, yeah, probably. I think I could find other things to do easily. But I definitely have more of a fascination with video games than a person my age generally would. Luckily, it's my job, so it's not so bad. You know, I just show up to work and play games instead. So I guess, I don't know, made my hobby into a job. I love my jobby. I do need to do more things. I should go hiking tomorrow or something. I should go get food. But anyway, first we're going to talk to him.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid.
He stooped over his toolbox as usual, shuffling bolts around
That's
angrily.
fine, man, but I've got to warn you, our signs are still off. It will take some time for me to get my sight on.
I saw a sticker on the padlock. Can you tell me anything about it? The stickers? You mean the yellow one? Can you describe it to me? Interesting, he wants you to describe it. Though he already knows what it looks like. Okay, it's a yellow circle, a human face with X's for eyes and a smile underneath. I think the X's mean the guy's dead. Good, good. He likes what he's hearing. What'd you want to know? Was I right? Is it a dead guy smiling? Yes, you're the 23rd person to get it right. And I've asked 23 people. Looks like it's a dead guy smiling to the entire human race. Why do you think that's so? We're all the same. Same eyes, same smiles, same death. Okay, what does it mean? He defeated history. We're living in the age of history. In the eyes of history, we are always already dead. How can we ever smile then? Because history is a lie, and so are its deaths. The present moment and life are all the hardcore. The hardcore expels death. Or maybe he's not dead. Maybe he's just really ecstatic about the beats. Or drugged out of his mind, come to think of it. Better not mention it. He blinks, waiting for the next question. What makes this sticker so modern? Simplicity was brought to us by classical Soleilist modernism, but that was a tasteful, harmonious simplicity, right? Well, hardcore is not tasteful or outwardly harmonious. It's a warning shot. This will be dangerous. The echo of a man's loss haunting him. The sticker, the clothes, the music, same thing. You come up with this stuff by yourself? Not alone. Many people are thinking the same thing right now. We all see the same smiling dead guy and a couple of X's in a circle. And a curve. The beat is the same for all. Okay, I want to try cycling through this again. Seems awesome. It is. Okay. There's also that subject. Guess one could write an entire treatise on the thing, but what for? Tell me about the machines you saw in the church. He cringes. Weird stuff, specialized. There's a data processor, some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going to water gives off a spy sign, or some effed up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that usually goes headfirst into the supernatural. The People's Republic of Samara is a product of Revishal's sister revolution on the Grada Sola. It's known as a severely degenerated rogue state. The supernatural. So you think it's real, that it actually exists? Most of it doesn't exist, but there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist, because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebes. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff. Why are you called the Noid? Picks up some sort of widget. The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law of this moment. Not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment. What about now? Are the signs right now? Nuh-uh, huh. Still strongly out of sync. Stage, gamma, disalignment. What? He examines the small metal bolt in his hand. You heard me. I thought we'd be okay now, sign-wise. I'm doing what I can. He continues to rearrange his tools. It's not easy for him. It probably took him years to get used to Andre. He looks like a well-thought-out individual. The synchronization might be worth it in the long run. Okay, I'll come back later. Probably gotta clear out the church. I'm just getting spooky vibes from the church. I almost feel like I should have the entire armor set for it.
Yes?
I like it how Kim just kind of knows what I've been talking about and doing without him. It's nice.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean.
I'll help you, alright.
Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan. I did, and I'm sorry. She doesn't appear surprised. For what it's worth, which isn't much. This is why I didn't go into that tent. The lieutenant looks at the ocean, squinting his eyes. Typical delinquency. You don't get to choose your posse. They choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk to Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you. Indeed, she merely tried to admit the truth instead. Instead, you opted to admit the truth. It's the same thing. I know. But I know you'd see through their plan, too. I'm not an idiot. I should have been able to control them. I will in the future, I promise. May I ask, what did you tell them? Do what you will with the dance club plans. Just no drug labs, please. Thank you, the young woman nods. I'll get them under wraps, I promise. The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there? Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in telling you. She's less prone to blurting out Crabman than the others. We'll see. Go ahead and tell me. Okay, she nods. I went in and saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's being raised by their grandmother. You know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression. Didn't say anything, just stood still. Go on. And then, you know what? Right behind her, a man crawled down the wall, upside down like a crab. Down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent. He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. Having turned around and walked out. End of story. Look at Crab, you say? The lieutenant nods. His face is stone. What did this crab man look like? It was too dark. She shakes her head. I couldn't tell exactly. Come on. She obviously could. She already went into detail. Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like? He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way. A crab and a banger. The lieutenant raises an eyebrow. Yes, a banger. As in a Mesk gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw. A gangster crab man. No, you're wrong. I do believe you. Why? What would you stand to gain? Nothing, she says. Anyway, what else? I'd like to know more about your associates. My associates, she blows on her chilled fingers. I haven't got much to say about them. What do you mean? You must know something about them. Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them. To the cops. Well, what about you? Tell me something about yourself. Me? I'm a silver bird. Aha. Okay. Maybe I'll ask later about all this. Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but that's enough for now. Okay, so, like I said, church is giving me some spooked out vibes. I don't really like it. We can go back and try rhyming with Tommy Leham. We might be able to do Renee. A lot of these are probably not so good. Luckily, most of these are just kind of eh. So inspect the traps, return to morale. Okay, so I think we found Idiot Doom Spiral's jacket. Determine where the shot came from. Check the boardwalk for bullet traces. Can't check the island yet. See, Noid doesn't want to talk to you. Signs aren't in sync. Help the ravers start a nightclub. Sing karaoke. I think we can do that now. Get the fallen plants from Kuno. Add more beauty to the wall. I say let's check the boardwalk for a second. Seeing as we're here. I'm gonna leave that church for the last thing I do. Just because I'm not getting good vibes out of it. Okay, there's nothing else up here. I was hoping to have the entirety of the armor before we go in the church. Maybe it's not the church. We've got to have a confrontation where somebody has a gun. Sooner than later. And I figure having body armor probably helps a lot. So that's the phone. We're getting a lot of search for bullet traces kind of thing. I'm gonna check the trash can real quick. Okay. Nope, nothing. So, wherever search the boardwalk for bullet traces. I mean, unless this whole area is considered the boardwalk, at which point we have to check the building in the church to qualify. And hell if I know how we get to the island. Maybe Joyce drops us there, but me? We're gonna talk to her real quick.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you up at night. What can I help you with?
I found this jacket, but it's filthy. Could you wash it for me? I can wash it for you, she says after looking the jacket over, but it's going to take half an hour. Think you can stay put for that long? Hell yeah. I could use a breather before another runny day begins. Yeah, I'll wait. Well, hand it over, and I'll see what I can do. Must say, I'm proud of this one, she nods, handing the jacket back to you. It's pretty nice underneath all that filth. If you take better care of it than its last owner. So get the fallen windbreaker. So if I go talk to Kuno and buy the pants, which I can now afford, I might actually even be able to buy the pants, and then maybe we'll have a full set. We might be missing shoes. I don't know. Okay, so now we've got the fancy jacket. I don't think there's anything else we need to do in town. Let's go talk to her. We yoinked her bird. Let's see if I can pay her back for it.
The waves are beginning to die down. Look at those little bastards. Simmer down, bastards.
Why did she care about the waves so much? What is it with you and those waves? What is it with waves and fishermen? She tilts her head and looks at the sea. We need to be out there with them, fishing, making a living, so I ask them to accommodate me. But until that happens, I can try and assist you as best as I can, she adds with a smile. So will it be a officer? That's my motor carriage in the sea, by the way. Oh, she looks at the pointed direction. That's good to know, I guess. Why is it in the sea? It was an accident. I'm sorry. She looks at you and shrugs. Calls for a funeral, if you ask me. You're suggesting we honor the carcass of my former motor carriage? Aye, feels deserved, don't you think? Falling in the line of duty and all. What an odd thought. Maybe I should. Why odd? Our things are part of our life world. They're made with human sweat and they share human history. We should care about them as we care about humans. To some extent at least. Life world. Someone's been reading up on last century got wilding philosophers. Play it cool now. Alright, I'm in, but organizing a funeral takes a lot of time and effort, doesn't it? Oh yeah, she says with a chuckle. We won't even be able to get out of the water before early June. Where are you gonna bury it? Who to invite? What kind of music to play at the wake? Think of it from someone who's been through a few funerals. It's easiest just to leave them there, and let nature take care of it. That's all we have time for right now anyway. The lieutenant looks at you sympathetically. Come back here in June and see how you feel about it then. It's not like it's going anywhere. It's a pity we don't get to do more frivolous side activities, like rejuvenate the doomed commercial area, or... Lieutenant looks at you almost gently. Yes, that's a pity, but for now, let's focus on the things we do get to do, like the murder investigation, for example. He liked the Capri funeral idea. Looking for someone else, actually, and never mind. Not looking for anyone right now. Kim's presence makes it awkward. Oh, Kim.
You're back. Good.
Okay, so it doesn't look like we've got anything particularly useful here. We're making good time and getting a lot of stuff done. It's a nice feeling when most of your loose ends feel close to being tied up. Obviously, there's probably a lot that I've missed and a lot of things that I still have yet to do, but it still feels better. It might be about time that we go back and talk to Everard again, to be honest. I'm not super keen on it. I don't like the guy, but I've grown significantly as a person and other things. I want to go back in here. What can I buy with my newfound wealth and incredible amount of income? Because I can buy everything. Let's see. Don't think I can buy any of these. Let's check speakers. How much was this thing again? 700.
Hello again. How can I help you?
Okay, so he doesn't have anything. The bookstore certainly had some stuff. If I want to read books. I do and I don't. The problem is, they take a while. They're probably somewhat worth it, but... Fine. Let's go... Let's go over here. It really is an interesting psychological effect of suddenly actually having funds and being able to just buy stuff.
You keep coming back. That's good, officer. Keep browsing those clothes. Keep saving that economy.
Buy the windbreaker. I don't know how many of these are actually that useful for me. Need those fallen sneakers. I can't afford them yet. And I wanted that speaker.
The shine on those sunglasses lasts a lifetime, officer. 100% guaranteed.
Interesting sunglasses in the box. Ah, I see. A pair of water blue shades. The writing on the left temple says Sub-Insulitic Rendezvous. The frame appears to be hand-carved out of bone. Oh, very interesting choice, officer. Very high culture. For the first time, the street vendor's voice trails off as he watches you inspect the glasses. Try them on. This is how a sea monster sees the world. You've become a sea monster, Harry. Giant, hidden, and strangely tender at heart. All is blue. Yes, but they also make your soul quiver like jello. So deep. Wow, officer, you look so cool. The street vendor has picked up his pace again, as you observe the world through deep, sea-tinted lenses. And they can be yours for a mere 3 real. My regular customers have passed them all up because they've got no taste, but you found them. And what about these? Lieutenant tilts his head and steps back, eyes narrowed in a thorough examination. It's a case to him. You look like a musician, he declares, eyes still squinted behind his own glasses. Like a blind musician. But you could do worse. Take him if you want. Sure. Even those shades you recommended. Try them on. Aboard, these are hideous. What's more, they don't even fit your face. You can feel them pinching your nose and chafing against your brow. Let's see. Damn, officer, you look like a mega-secret spy. Very secret, man nods eagerly. They're practically made for you. I'll let you have them for 2 real and 50 cents. Perfect for concealing your bloodshot and baggy eyes. It's going to be very difficult for anyone to take you seriously with these things on your face. No, the lieutenant gently removes the glasses from your face, setting you free again. You definitely are not buying those. You're right, I'm too sensible for those. Ugly glasses? No. Leave them for now. Okay, nope, that's the wrong one. We were gonna talk to him.
Everything's still cool here, officer.
Hey, quick question. Do you sell any tapes? Tapes? You mean like music tapes? No, music is out. Don't listen to music. I sell extremely cool sunglasses. If you want to get your mojo going, point to the shoddy box on the left. Alright, you have no idea whatsoever where I could find tapes? Tapes? Notion sounds preposterous to him. Tapes are everywhere. They're worthless. Kids throw them in the street, in the trees. There's in the bushes, right behind this lorry. He nods at the empty lorry cabin behind his back. No one would ever throw a good pair of high-quality plastic sunglasses in the bushes, mister. His smile widens. You should have a look. Better than nothing. Hey, give me bunny. Start with a little compliment, then work your way up from there. This is about business, remember? Hey, you seem like a really successful entrepreneur. Would you like to support a member of the local police? Oh, okay, the man stops, his face suddenly serious. But why, officer? After all this mess, the broken seal's lying to you, come on. Think of it as an investment. An investment, he raises a brow in trade. What kind of investment? Or we could not make this about corruption, go with something even wider. It's an investment in me, a highly experimental human being. My risk-reward ratio is insane. I guess it can't be any riskier than speculating in exotic derivatives. What should we be talking about here? 1 million real. But officer, I don't have that kind of money. There's got to be a more modest investment. 5 real. What? Only a $5? You can't even buy a pack of Royal Extras with that. Let's make this 1 stick, my man. God, a pack of Royals would taste so good right now. Get you some of those tar sticks, baby. 10 real. 10 real's a bargain for this kind of investment. You got it, my man. He takes a 10 note out from his leather pouch. Okay. I need 4 cents! Well, whatever. Let's go check out this tree. There is stuff around here that I could never investigate, which annoys me. The hawthorn tree on Rue de Saint Lane. Bronze-colored ribbons of magnetic tape are caught in its branches, fluttering in the breeze. Good hawthorn. At the tree. Batting the tree reveals a small sticker, which has almost been worn to oblivion. It reads, RCM Emergencies Desk Number 8102. Underneath the slogan, Mankind Be Vigilant. The bronze ribbon twists around within the branches of an intricately natural pattern. But there's something. What do I see? There's a twisted logic in the mess. You see the ends of the ribbon, the way it flows, how it twists. It's all starting to make sense. It'll be easier to remove now. Disentangle the tape. With slow and deliberate motions, pulling, bending, and unraveling, you manage to extricate the magnetic tape from the branches. It curls into a mess inside your pocket. If only you could find a way to re-spool it, so that you could hear what's on the tape. Maybe Roy from the pawn shop can help you with this. Lieutenant looks at the mess in your hands. Only after you've successfully cleaned up the branches does the curiosity get him. What's the tape for, he asks. It's for Egghead. I promised I'd make his Van Eyck jam a bit harder. Maybe this tape can help. Ow, it's broken and unspooled. You think your new buddy knows how to fix it? I think at least one of the ravers would know how to fix a broken tape if they want to set up a nightclub. You could also get it fixed at the pawn shop across the street. We shouldn't waste our time. He looks at his wristwatch a little impatiently. Good idea. You might have the tools. Tape projector in the pawn shop uses similar tape. Goodbye, tree. I will not punch a tree. That stuff hurts. Still don't have money. Unfortunately, we've had so many... Oh. These guys are new.
That's one brutal motor carriage.
Says the young man with the... Wow. Sure. That written on the back.
If I were a real skull right now, I'd jack it, paint it in palm tree livery, then bottom light it, neon style.
His companion wears a simple yet elegant slogan, F the world.
Snazzy shit ripped skull mobile like this would make a fine trophy. We could, like, hang fucking shrunken heads from the side mirrors. Cops' heads, scary tribal shit.
Yeah, tribal shit. A cop carriage like this would have proper skull value.
While I appreciate the interest you take in my brutal motor carriage, I have to stop you right there. The RCM takes threats directed at its property seriously.
It's just theoretical work, Copper. No basis in reality. Man, if we were certified skulls right now...
Skulls. Now, there's a strong organizational title. Who are you?
I can tell you who we're not, cop. We're not snitches or skulls.
Which is not to say that the skulls are bitches and... On the contrary.
The part of the presentation you want to take home with you, cop man, is we're not part of the skulls. Yet.
Okay then, let's indulge in some intellectual exchange. These young men seem eager to share their beliefs. Who are the skulls? You don't know? What kind of cop are you? Not a question. Don't get into it. I'm so glad you asked. The question was rhetorical, he replies, raising his open hand. The skulls are the most vicious gang in the Besmertine. Besmertinia? I don't know. Besmertnier. Oh. Besmerty. So, Besmerty are the... Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. The Immortals are West Revacholian crime syndicates. The nastiest bunch of psychos ever, jacking carriages and getting into high-speed chases. Possessing an infinite amount of F-all swagger, infamous for their non-verbal modus operandi. Non-verbal. If a skull spots you, he will pull out his dagger and stab you without saying a word. The lieutenant's voice is calm as usual, a testament to the violence and death he's witnessed through the sight of his firearm. They usually occupy the burnt-out quarter in Jamrock, or you can find them loitering around their brightly painted, bottom-lighted vehicles. Oh, I can't wait to become a skull. Bottom lights are wretched aggressive. Do you know anything about the murder that took place there? Murder? Man was hanged in the backyard of the Whirling in Rags. Yeah, sure, we'll gladly tell you everything we know about it. He clears his throat. It was a man. Also, he was hanged. Anything else? He was hanged from a tree. Yeah, I mean, duh. These punks don't know anything. Let's just move along. Hey, stop right there. How does one know anything? Ah, this sounds like epistemology. Field so occupied by thought that it begins to question thought itself. However, there's no way these young men could possibly be aware of her work. I know that you don't know shit. Exactly. How can one know shit? For example, how can one be sure that there truly is a body hanging behind the hostel? What if it's art or a mere specter? Maybe it's true. The hanged man is merely a prop in a performance. We are all the audience. The artist is hiding somewhere in the dark. Hey, my room is at least moderately well lit. It's like 12:30 in the afternoon. That could be the case. Yes, a brilliant work of art. Lieutenant raises an eyebrow but does not comment. Do you know what happened to the victim's armor? Nope. His mouth makes a popping sound, but Cindy does. Don't tell him that. The other one cuts in too late. Skulls don't tattle, man. Cindy wouldn't. You mean Cindy the skull? No, the young man replies quickly, shaking his head. A different Cindy, from out of town. She doesn't know shit about armor gloves, that's for sure. He did mean Cindy the skull. Alright, we have a lead on the gloves. What's with the jackets? What about them? Why does your jacket have piss on it? Well, first off, it's a statement and not necessarily something that characterizes me as a person, even though the statement has character, and I do like piss. The word piss epitomizes the struggle taking place in the world, things being defined as they seem, not as they are. And I guess it's also about communal spirit, future, and truly appreciating our differences. Also, you gotta admit, it catches the eye. And since the Grand Piper is slowly but steadily moving towards basing the economy on it, attention, it's imperative that the medium itself convey the message. Blah. Makes sense? What I mean by this is, we're all piss efforts. And that the world is inherently meaningless. It seems the young man has a certain expertise in at least one field, even if it's rather narrow. Why do you have F the world written on your jacket? Like I said before, many men keep searching for the one, for so-called true love, which is actually just an obsession masquerading as kinship. The thrill of the chase, the hollowness that fills your chest cavity after catching it. I'm wondering if the poetics come with the jacket, or they derived from something else entirely. Or are they derived from something else entirely? I'm in trouble reading today. I don't know. To catch a fish, you need to hurl the lure many times. And even if it isn't certain you will get anything, you blow up the lake, though? That's a terrible metaphor. You get more fish in a shorter time. And for time is of the essence and fleeting ever so quickly, one must think of a way to F the whole world, not get caught up in effing someone. Because when one F's everything, he F's nothing. And that, to me, feels glorious. Sticking your dick into the void. Hate to admit it, but in a weird way, he's got a point. Is it a coincidence that we have 2 badass jackets and 2 badass cops? Hey, Kim. Yes? What do you think about their jackets? Leather jackets adorned with immature writing? The ideology they convey helps the boys justify poor choices in life and fashion. The lieutenant shrugs. I'm not a fan. Why are you always so patronizing when cool possibilities cross your path? Lieutenant looks confused. What are you implying? We should get those jackets. For what? What do people do with jackets? They wear them. The concept of getting dressed is familiar to me, but wearing a jacket like these is not appropriate for an RCM officer, unless he's deep undercover, he adds. But in theory, Kim, if we were to confiscate these jackets, which one would you wear? Neither. Come on, Kim, it's a mental exercise. Fine. Only to end this discussion, theoretically, if I were a juvenile delinquent, and if I were ready to already be down with that, if I were to already be down that path, I think piss is the stronger of the 2 statements. That works. I feel more like an F the world kind of guy. Seems about right, Lieutenant Marks, especially considering your heroic exit attempts. That's an origin story for a dynamic duo right there. Let's see, Half-Light. Unfortunately, this is like the lowest I got. Oh well, Half-Light. Ask for the jackets for yourself and Lieutenant. Nope. So are we done here? One of the jacket owners asked impatiently. You don't need us around for your secret whisper party, do you? These guys aren't scary. You're not scary. I have nothing to work on here. It's either begging or bullying, or both. Just ask them, maybe. Gentlemen, I need your jackets. Why? Pointing your clothes. Look at the shit I'm wearing. Yeah, like you said, total shit. What about it? There's a spark of sympathy in the youth's eyes. You didn't say that. Leather would look so cool on me. Lieutenant looks down at his bomber jacket and shrugs, obviously content with his uniform. Ah, screw it, I don't deserve a cool jacket. I suck. Fine, F it. The young man takes his jacket off. Here, take them. I can't handle this sad shit. It's true, he simply can't. It's called empathy. Wow, I did not see that coming. You better wear that jacket with pride. F that. You're not getting mine. The other one snaps at you. My dad's a lawyer in the Delta. He'll have your badge. No, he won't. The situation with the lieutenant... the lieutenant is highly amused by the situation. Wait. World effer, you got a rich dad? No, he looks startled. He's like a volunteer lawyer, a total bitch. Cites law and does dishes. You know what, cop? F you. That's not what this is about. You're not getting my jacket. F him, we don't need his rich dad jacket anyway. Screw, we don't need another one. You said you're more of a piss kind of guy, so I got the jacket for you. I'm not wearing that jacket. Why not? You could really raise hell. Go undercover. Hard. I don't think this case requires us to go undercover, or raise hell. In fact, I don't think the jacket would be useful at all. Still, it's good to know that we have it, should the need arise. the need will not arise. Look at this cute shit. The dark-haired youth points at you and then turns to his friend. How can we become skulls if you go around fraternizing with cops? Let's get the F out of here before anyone sees us. F-man, I'm sorry, man. He hangs his head in shame. I just don't like confrontations, that's all. I am assuming this trash jacket will remain a trash jacket forever. Extra drama minus authority. I look like such a dweeb. Oh, what else do I got? What if I put this on? I like this better. What about this one? Let's see. So how much money am I rocking? I'm rocking enough to go get those sneakers. So let's go get the shoes. And we'll go get the pants from Kuno at some point. Need those fallen sneakers. Super cool. Now the premium lifestyle is yours, officer. Okay, now let me buy the speakers. Junk's yours, officer. The vendor hands you the speakers. Happy listening. Try not to hurt your ears with that Samaran garbage. Alright, I just got stuff. I don't know if these sneakers are good. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. My encyclopedia stat is kind of through the roof to begin with, so having those will help. Now what I need is the fallen pants. Let's see, anything else? I got mostly positives. Let's see, which is hurting my perception? Oh, the peepo. Yeah, okay, that one's actually kind of useful. And yeah, we have those. I guess we should probably go talk to Cindy the Skull. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Actually, we have a phone call to make. Okay, radio again. Let's see. Find out more about the owner of the armored boots. Yes, it took some convincing, but I got the mercenary's name and a few biographical details. Are you ready? Lieutenant leans in to listen, notebook in hand. Shoot. The suit of armor was issued to an Oranjay's citizen named Ellis Courtenaire. That's... yeah, sure. Exact date of birth unknown. He was signed to the Lelystad Country Neonatal Care Unit on the 28th of February 09. Neonatal Care Unit. He was found as a newborn in a leaf compactor near an abandoned farm. He spent 4 months in a neonatal unit, survived apparently, and was assigned to a foster family at 2. According to Klasia, Lely said his real name wasn't really his. Perhaps it's because he was fostered. This is what the ICP knows about him. He was raised by foster parents, entered the Ijbrand Military Academy in Vraderford at 17, then served in the Oranjay's forces till he was honorably discharged in 41, just a year before the 70s conflict. Then the armor followed him to Seminine, or at least I assume it did, and that's it. There are no other records of his employment in Cornell, or anything of its other incarnations, or even entering Revachol. Wait, he was found in a leaf compactor? It's a garden tool used to press leaves into these cubes. It's a detail the hospital had the only detail in these files, so I thought it would be good for you to know. It is, thank you, Alice. Any information on his foster parents? None, officer, sorry. So, all we have to connect him to Cornell is the armor. Even that is a small miracle. These organizations usually double-check their inventory. He leans closer and shouts, "Thank you, Alice, great work." "No problem, Lieutenant," she sounds pleased. A compliment from Lieutenant Kitsuragi, not bad. Oh, we have his name and service record now. A name, that's very good. Ellis Courtenaire, he says to himself. Sometimes police work is about human dignity, about giving back names to anonymous victims. I'm glad the inquiry was helpful to your investigation, officer. Do you have any other questions? Connect me to the Jamrock Public Library. Hold on, officer. I've got Central Jamrock Public Library on the line. I've already introduced you to their librarian. Connecting the call in 2, 1. Yes, this is the Central Jamrock Public Library here. A male librarian answers the call. How can I help you? Librarian. Librarian? He sounds worried, yet ready to assist. This is how people get when the police call. Looking for any information that you can provide on Billy Majan, a reader. Billy Majan, you said. Give me a moment. I'll have to check our database. He puts down the receiver. Yes, hello? You still there? You can hear him fiddle with the printout. I found Billy Majan's home address. Is that alright? No phone number, unfortunately. But too poor to have a phone line. Yes, home address is fine. Here you go, sir. Rue de Saint-Ghislain, 33B, apartment 20. It's in Martinez, I believe. Cape Side Apartments. It says that's all. That's where the smoker on the balcony lives, isn't it? Oh. Do you have any other information on Billy Majan? It says here that they returned their last book a few days ago. But I wasn't at work that day. Do you know someone who was? Marie? He covers the phone with his hand and yells out the room behind him. Marie, do you remember a reader named Billy Majan? They returned a Thibault book the other day. You hear someone answer from afar. Yes, it was my colleague, Marie. The librarian is speaking to the phone again. She says that it was Billy's husband who returned the book. He also asked for this new sci-fi release, Lose Radio 87, but we don't have it yet. Good, you have a name now. So Billy Majan was a woman, not a man. How did your colleague know that it was her husband? Marie knows Billy. She's been working here longer than me. Sometimes her husband returns books for her, then goes out for a little drink later. On the lookout. Do you know the husband's name? Sorry, no. Marie only knows him by sight. And Marie described to me how the husband looked like. Marie? Moment passes. She said it was an older man, and that she's pretty sure she had a drink or two last time she saw him. What was he wearing? 1 second. Librarian turns away from the phone again and relays the question. Sorry, Marie wasn't paying that any attention to that. Thank you. That's all from me. I have no other questions. Happy we could help. Goodbye, officer. The librarian hangs up, and the call gets redirected back to the station with a soft click. Anything else you need? Need to report a dead body on the Martinez boardwalk. 1 moment. You hear her shuffling through some papers. Can you describe the body? Age, sex, cause of death? Unidentified middle-aged man. Height 170 175 centimeters. Dark hair, medium build. Looks like he slept, fell through a hole in the boardwalk, and hit his head against the metal bench. We suspect he might have been inebriated when he fell. There were bottles all around him, and traces of vomit on his shirt. Any signs of violence? No, seems like it was an accident. No field autopsy necessary, she repeats. What about his belongings? Did you examine his clothes? He's wearing boots, trousers, and an old leather jacket with bright blue lining. I found a library card from his pockets. Any information from the library card? It's from Central Jamrock Public Library. It belongs to someone named Billy Majan. Good, you have a lead. Do you and Lieutenant Kitsuragi want to take the case, or should I assign it to someone else? We're taking the case. I've assigned the case to Lieutenant Kim Kitsuragi. Please follow up on this library lead to identify the man. We'll send someone to take the body to the morgue. That's all for now. Thanks for reporting in. Is there anything else I can do for you? Nope. I like her better. Can I transfer to the 57th? Like, I know Jamrock's supposed to be this legendary thing, but, like, I'm not feeling it nearly as much. Okay. Oh. She's not here. Shit. Skill points am I rolling? A lot. Do I want to grab something? Yeah, let's grab at least 2 of these. Might as well start working through them. I'm gonna go look up the list. I could just, like, pick them randomly. I don't know. I think this is going to be the only thing that I do look up for this game. Just because I only have a limited number of slots. I don't know. I know 15th into a tribe, if I remember right, is good. And Fairweather's okay. Maybe.